This is after the flag, and the MotoGP World Championship battle in 2023 is firmly alive. Marco Bezzecchi, the winner of the first ever Indian Grand Prix, but that doesn't even come close to telling you the story on a dramatic afternoon and a dramatic weekend here at the Bud International Circuit. Lewis Suddaby and Simon Crafar ready to talk you through all of the key discussion points, and there were plenty coming from this first Indian Grand Prix. Marco Bezzecchi, your winner from Jorge Martin and Fabio Quartararo. Pecco Bagnaia, should I say, crashing out of second place, which has thrown the MotoGP World Championship wide open. First of all, Simon, what an incredible day and what an event this first Indian Grand Prix has proven to be.
It has. It has. I must say, I was glad that there was a really close battle that last lap, because otherwise there wasn't the same. It was magic, and it made up for it, you know, to see what was happening between Jorge Martin, who was looked like lucky to make the end, and I'm glad they shortened it because I don't think he would have. Meaning physically, you know, poor fella, and yeah, to see that fight at the end. But I have to say the overtake that Jorge did, when I watched it another time, there was more room than I thought, because normally to pass someone on the outside is scary, because they can't, you know, they can't avoid you. You know what I'm saying? If you go around the outside and close the line, they can't avoid you. And I got a big fright when I saw Jorge go around the outside. But seeing it replayed when we were in Parc Ferme, I think there was room, and that Fabio will be all right about it. But they're the sort of crashes when you do make contact at that speed, they're huge, both people down. But yeah, proper excitement. Yeah, and a lot of people to touch on who did really good rides today. Some
real standout performances, even over and above the three that were on the podium. And we'll start with the winner, Marco Bezzecchi, who won the race at the end by 8.5 seconds, aided in slight part to Bagnaia's crash, but also Martin losing a lot of time as he went wide on the final lap and had to battle with Fabio Quartararo for second place. But whatever the margin of victory, Marco Bezzecchi was in a class of his own here today, and really all weekend. It does put what happened in the sprint into context now. We asked the question, where would Marco Bezzecchi have been yesterday without what happened at turn one? I think we got our answer today.
I think Marco, I'd go as far as saying he did a weekend of riding like the old aliens. It was that good, absolutely wonderful, in really difficult conditions, very easy to make a mistake, and he didn't at all, and he was faster than everyone on the 1 year older spec Ducati. You can't take anything away from Marco. He's just wonderful. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, he absolutely dominated that Grand Prix, took the lead early on. There was a bit of a battle in the early stages between that trio of Ducatis at the front of the field, as Jorge Martin, Pecco Bagnaia and Bezzecchi all took turns at the front of the race. Bezzecchi, once he took the lead, was just in a class of his own. And in those kind of conditions, when you're racing in that kind of intense heat, and also, as we heard from Piero Taramasso before the race, it was a day where we were slightly concerned in terms of what kind of tyre life they'd have at the end of the race, with a lot of them, in fact all of them, going for the soft rear tyre. Just how important was it for Bezzecchi to snap early, take the lead early, and just give himself some clear track?
Yeah, the thing is, when you have an edge over everyone, you can ride half second slower, and you're still faster than them. You know, that is the beauty of being so fast. We've seen it so many times in the past when a rider has an edge, where everyone else is going that speed, but like this, you know, so they can't choose exactly where to use the tyres, you know, so you can adapt your style if you're faster than everyone, and still save your tyre, where the opposition can't, you know. And I think that's what we saw today. It was absolutely magic. I think I've got to say Michelin did a good job to be able to run the soft tyre here, and which the soft always makes the bike nicer to ride for the rider. The bike reacts better, does everything better, and they enjoy it more, can ride faster. But to get to the end of the long race, it's impressive.
Particularly with no real concrete information to work on coming here. Of course, they've got all the simulation and technology data they have in the world, but no actual on-track testing before they came here, so they did a fine job to get everyone to the end in the condition that they did. key moment, I guess, in the race, and who knows how key a moment it could be by the time we get to the end of the season, was the crash of Pecco Bagnaia. We'll talk about that in a moment because Fabio Quartararo is waiting to talk to us. A second podium of the season and one of the rides of the day. Make no mistake. Fabio Quartararo is with Matt Butt.
It really was one of the rides of the day. A frustrating start to the first Indian Grand Prix for Fabio Quartararo on Friday, but a fantastic finish. Fabio at the podium here on Sunday in what was a really difficult race, and after all the difficult moments you've had over the recent weeks, that's put a big smile on your face. You can sleep well tonight.
Yeah, it was a great weekend overall, especially our pace qualifying. So I'm pretty happy about this weekend. Hopefully we can do many more this year, and yeah, so we have to be clever, and as soon as we have small opportunities to make this kind of result, we have to take it.
Always going to be difficult to battle the Ducatis. You saw ahead of you Pecco Bagnaia crash, and then that put you in a battle with Jorge Martin. Did you see much of what happened to Pecco?
Yeah, he was in front of me and lose the front, but you know, that was not really my problem. I just have to stay focused, and you know, I was struggling a lot to stop the bike, especially on the left corners. But yeah, we have to be happy with this podium.
Could you see what was going on with Jorge Martin? Because he was 1.52 seconds clear, and then you started to come back to him, and clearly he was having some issues with the leathers. Did you realise at that point that he was having some kind of problem?
I didn't know if it was the arm pump or the leather, but I see he was doing something strange in turn 10, 11. And yeah, so I tried to push till the end, but I was feeling so much on the limit on the tire. So yeah, that's the best that we could do this weekend.
And then you started the last lap 1.5 seconds behind him, and he made the mistake going down in the hill into turn 4, and then it got really, really close on the exit of turn 5. We saw you laughing about it afterwards. What was talk us through that moment from your point of view?
Yeah, to be honest, when he overtook me from turn 5 to turn 6, clearly the grip I had on the left was really bad, and I could not do anything. Even arriving to turn 10, I was there, but the grip I had going in and on the brakes was really, really bad. I could really not stop, and yeah, so we finished in P3, but you know, we clearly know where we are losing a lot of time in this track, and acceleration, top speed, and the grip we have, so we have to work hard to fight with these guys.
And when he came around the outside at 5, he cut your nose off pretty quickly. I mean, was it close?
Well, it was okay. Just was frustrating because, you know, I tried to make the best exit as possible, tried to be straight, but they just rocket, you know, with the grip. So hopefully we can find a solution as quick as possible.
Fabio, a great fight. Never easy to battle with the Ducatis. A great show as well for the Indian fans. Congratulations. Great to see you back on the podium.
Thank you.
Certainly is good to see Fabio Quartararo back on the podium. A world-class display. Just in your words, how good was he today?
We've been talking about it all weekend, coming to a new circuit, brutal conditions, figuring out, meaning weather, you know, temperature, how hard it is, figuring out a new circuit, no data, you know, computer-wise for anyone. And we saw the 3 Japanese manufacturer world champions, Joan Mir, Marc Marquez and Fabio Quartararo, like cream rising to the top. They did an awesome job, all of them, but especially Fabio. I just didn't think he could pull that off here with those big long straights, acceleration areas, hard braking, and he made it work.
Third place for him. Race victory, though, went to Marco Bezzecchi. 8.5 seconds clear of everybody else today. A dominant win for him. He's with Matt.
Yeah, Marco Bezzecchi, I think that was what we call brilliant Bezzecchi at the Bud International Circuit. Marco, huge congratulations. That was one of probably the best performances of your Grand Prix career. Dominant victory, of course, pole position. You were so fast in the Tissot sprint. How are you feeling? Because that was a tough one, but you're back in the championship hunt as well.
Yeah, well, I feel amazing. I'm very happy for this race. You know, after yesterday that I was strong, I was fast, but unfortunately in the start I lost a lot of time. To bounce back like this was amazing. I tried to keep myself calm as soon as Orga and Pecco passed me in the start because I knew that they have something more. So I tried to stay close, and I was very close, and then I tried to pass Pecco. I knew that for the front tire was important, so I put myself in front. I was a bit aggressive, but I needed to do it because if not, like the past races, I would have been in trouble. So yeah, amazing. After I felt very good with my bike. I ride very well, and I had a good pace.
Marco, right from Friday morning, you seem to just have something extra. You've had a different level than the rest of the riders this weekend. Is there any particular reason for that? Is there something special that you like about this circuit? Because, as I mentioned, pole position, you probably would have won the sprint without the first corner drama. You ran away with it today. You've clicked immediately with this Indian Grand Prix circuit, haven't you?
Well, the track I liked a lot. But to be honest, I don't know. I focus myself on braking because this track was tough for it. Was a difficult condition to stop the bike. The front lock was a lot. Morbido. So I focus myself a lot on braking because normally Pecco, Jorge, on the last period they make the difference on that part of the track. Of every track, sorry. So in Friday I made a lot of mistakes. I went straight or wide many times, but was just to find the limit. And once I found it, I was able to move it a little bit forward, and this gave me the possibility to be very fast. So Saturday I felt already amazing with the bike, and then I start to see that I was making a bit more the difference compared the other riders. But Jorge was impressive. So today wasn't easy, so I'm very happy.
So winning MotoGP by 9 seconds, it's never easy to win in MotoGP by 9/10, but by 9 seconds almost, you made it look very, very easy. Did you expect to win by that margin, Marco? Of course, we've seen your pace has been strong all weekend, but did you expect the battle to be a little bit closer?
No, I didn't know it because the pit board on the last lap was 6 seconds, so I didn't expect to win by 8. I don't know what happened, but yeah, fantastic. I mean, to win is always beautiful, also by 1,000. But by 8 or 9 seconds is even better, so can't complain.
I don't know if you realised in the race, I don't know if you got some message from the team that Pecco had crashed out of second place. Of course, it now brings you right back into the championship, 44 points behind with still 7 races remaining. Your thoughts going to Japan next weekend?
The team didn't communicate to me, but I discovered after the race. Also, I saw something from the big screen, but I wasn't sure. Well, I didn't have time to check. But after, when I went to the Parc Fermé, they told me. I'm sorry for him, but yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking too much about the championship, I have to be honest, but it's always nice to be close, to have the possibility to fight with Jorge and him that are very, very strong. So for me, it's an honor, and I will try to give my all until the end of the season. Now we go to Japan, that is a track that I really like, so can't wait.
Marco, massive congratulations. You're on a different level this weekend.
Thank you.
Well done. We'll see you in Japan in a few days' time.
Thank you.
Always lovely to hear from Marco Bezzecchi, particularly when he's in a good mood after some recent success. He likes to play the happy-go-lucky figure, very much in the mould of Valentino, but behind that is a very smart and canny operator there.
You said it, really. I've got to say, how lovable is he, you know? It's not if you do, it's how much. You did right. And what I saw this weekend is everybody on the edge, everybody else, and Marco on rails. The only time I saw him offline was to make an overtake on someone on the same machine, so he had to force it somehow and went a little bit wide. Otherwise, he looked so in control, where other people I'm watching trying, they're making mistakes because they're pushing so hard. And it's amazing that at his experience in such difficult conditions to have such control. I'm impressed.
We were going to come on to it earlier on. Let's talk about it now then. Pecco Bagnaia crashing out of what was second place. In terms of the World Championship, of course, it's a big moment. First of all, how big a moment is that for Pecco in terms of these mistakes that every now and again keep creeping in, but also for his rivals? Because surely that's just going to give Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi even more encouragement that they know he's still fallible.
I still struggle to give Pecco a hard time about this because, like I just explained, everybody was on the edge. And like I explained in Gear Up before this weekend, when Jack was asking me about is the championship kind of looking like Pecco's, is everybody is on the edge. That's what I said then, is everybody's on the edge. So apart from Marco this weekend, so that the chance of a mistake is so easy, you know. So I look, Pecco was just trying to do what he does, and like everybody out there, and it went wrong. He didn't have the best feel all weekend, you know, bike setup, it wasn't. Even Tardozzi said, look, sometimes riders are fast at some tracks and not at others, but he was still fast. He was still great. He still found a way to fight on Sunday. I'm sure he hopes, he just wished he settled a little bit in those last laps, meaning don't fight too hard, you know, but easy to say after the fact.
A 24-point swing, effectively, in that one crash, of course. He lost 20 points for second place, and it promoted Martin from the 16 of third to the 20 points of second place. We're expecting to hear from Jorge Martin shortly. We'll talk about him in the meantime. Of course, a punishing Grand Prix for everybody physically, but we certainly saw today just how much Jorge Martin wants this.
Wow, I was emotional watching Jorge after he'd fainted in Parc Ferme, how hard he must have pushed, and you know how he must have felt in those last laps, which I imagine he's going to tell us that's why he was making mistakes. I've been there where your body's overheating and you start to lose the feel, because it's your brain taking information from all your senses, and that starts not to work, so it's easy to make a mistake. And again, riding on the edge, Jorge was riding on the edge. We saw some mistakes. He stayed on the bike. He still had the feel in those conditions to not lose the front, not do what Pecco did. So damn impressive. But yeah, what I'm saying is when your brain gets that hot, your body, whatever it is, body temperature, your brain stops feeling those things. And in my own experience, I had to either slow down or crash. You know, I knew it was coming. And we're just seeing him. We don't know what happened there. It'd be good to hear from Jorge why his zip came down. And we're guessing until then. But yeah, clearly he had to get it back up, or he was going to get called in, I think, by the stewards.
Yeah, Jorge Martin then, he's put such a consistent run together now. He's scored points in every sprint and every race since he crashed on the first lap of the Grand Prix of the Americas in Austin, all the way back in April. And it's that kind of consistency that ultimately wins you World Championships. We're seeing, aren't we, a level of maturity with Jorge Martin now that perhaps we didn't see in the past?
Yeah, he said in a debrief the other night that he is the best version of Jorge Martin he's ever been in during his career, and I think he really showed it today. He was fighting like everybody except Marco Bezzecchi was, and he pulled it off. Stayed on the bike. The old Jorge wouldn't have stayed on the bike.
Well, very quickly, because the riders are awaiting us in the press conference, I'm not sure we are going to hear from Jorge Martin for obvious reasons. Very quickly before we go, the Repsol Honda riders deserve a mention. Marc Marquez crashed early on but did recover to finish inside the top 10. And I don't think there'll be anyone in this paddock who's not happy to see Joan Mir get his day today.
Could not agree more. Mark rode amazing, super good in the sprint. Didn't go his way this way today. Everybody was on the edge, like I was saying. He lost the front. Joan Mir, super happy for him. Lovely guy. He's copped a lot of flack, and he showed why he's won a world championship. He's one of those absolute class riders.
Well, we're certainly not going to forget the first ever Indian Grand Prix. Marco Bezzecchi, your winner in the end. Jorge Martin taking a hard-earned second place, and Fabio Quartararo on the podium. Bezzecchi and Quartararo are ready to talk to you in the press conference. If you're watching that live, that is coming up next. If you're not watching us live, we will see you in a week's time for the Japanese Grand Prix in Motegi with the World Championship firmly on.